What's up, guys? This is my ban list discussion video. It's a list where, a discussion where I'm going to discuss what I think is going to get touched and what's not going to get touched. If you do like the video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It's completely free to do. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot if you could do that. Let your friends know if this sort of content you think would be intriguing to them or something that they'd be interested in. Let them know. It goes a long way. And then here we go. Let's get into it. So this ban list is definitely a list which I believe will be probably the smallest amount of changes we've had in quite some time. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is I believe we're not in a point where the ban list is needing a big list or a wide range of changes. We definitely need some change, but we don't need a big amount of change. Well, we don't need a ton of changes, right? So the first card we all know, the first card we all think should get banned and would be a real win for the whole community. If they just ban this one card, I don't think we'd have ever seen a happier list or a more approved list than the audience from the years of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because let's be real, everyone hates the ban list when they change it. Or not everyone, but let's be real, a lot of players disagree or don't like the list. No one's ever happy with the ban list, end of the day. But if they just ban Mystic Mine, I think we'd all be happy in this one scenario. So the cards that they should ban is Mystic Mine. This is a card that should just go. It's too good. It's probably one of the best spell cards I've ever printed. It really does slow down your opponent, protects players out. It restricts players from playing. Game ones are very uncomfortable with this card being in someone's main deck because you don't really main a ton of outs. Obviously, you side lot in. Now, in the current format, it's really interesting the way we approach the game as deck builders when we go into an event when Mystic Mine is running free across the room. When it's all across the room, we have to think about, well, how do we change our list as a deck builder to accommodate ourselves for the event that we're playing in. If we are playing an event with no Mystic Mine outs in our deck, in our main deck, we are going to have a game plan of, well, if we see Mystic Mine, do we just scoop up straight away, save time, and go straight into game 2, side in our back row and outs to Mystic Mine, and then we just play from that point? Or do we accommodate our main deck for some sort of outs against this card? Now, you can't really fit your deck to play too many outs because that will affect consistency and power of your deck, which means against combo decks, you're going to struggle, but against back row decks, you'll thrive. But if you look at the game where it's currently sitting, if we look at the tier list and the decks, like there's only really Tearlaments and Splight that are the only two decks that we can say are tier 1 quite comfortably. Do those decks need back row cards? Not really. Does that mean then if you increase your deck with more back row removal against mine, will it affect your power against these decks? Most likely, yes. And does that mean then will that affect your chance of top-ending event if you keep playing against these decks? Yes. If you are doing well in the early rounds of Swiss, the later rounds you're always going to play against Tearlaments and Splight. So does that mean your deck gets weaker as the tournament goes on? In some ways, yes. And then, are you less likely to play against a Mystic Mine deck and more likely to play against Tearlaments or Splight in the tournament? Yes. So, answering those questions, does that tell us now, do we need to play a lot of Mystic Mine outs? You're probably thinking no now. And that's probably right. That's probably the best way to approach it. We have certain players do say, well, the card's been out for so long, you should have been prepared for it. I think that's a load of nonsense in quite a lot of cases here. Now, you should be prepared in some way for it, yes, in your game plan, because you can't win a tournament without acknowledging this card. That's going to be in main decks and side decks across the room. Okay, you have to acknowledge it, and you do have to alter your game plan slightly for this. So this card kind of creates a lot of variance across someone's tournament with all those questions in mind. So I do feel like just that alone, they should just remove it. You should try and reduce variance for the game because yes, it makes the game more skillful for the better player, but also it means more deserving winners and better players will win. If you want to make the game more variance, then yeah, go to Pokemon because there's a lot more luck in that game. And if you play a game with more luck, you'll definitely keep the field more happy because everyone feels like they're a winner because they're winning more often than not. If you keep the game more skillful, then the weaker players will lose, the better players will win. The game gets harder, creates more competitiveness into the game, which means in the long run for a competitive game, it will just keep growing. So Mystic Mine definitely should go. It's a problem card, definitely gone. Now, are there any other cards that we need to look at with Mystic Mine? Is there any other cards that we need to think about? Well, what other floodgates are in this game right now that we need to touch? Do we need to hit anything like Rivalry of the Warlords? Because that card's very good. Do we need to hit cards like Goes and Match? Do we need to hit cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance? Do we need to hit cards like There Only Can Be One? Now, if you look at the grand scheme of things, Mystic Mine is in its own league of those cards. One, because it's a spell. And two, it does a lot more than those cards do. Could we say, well, if they just hit all the cards and put them to one, that would be nice? Yes, in some ways it would be nice, but I'd much rather there be rivalry in the game than Mystic Mine. Do those cards need a spot on the list? I feel like we're going to get... I feel in some way we are going to see Rivalry to one and Goes and Match to one, and There Only Can Be One at one, all at the same time. Now, do I think it's going to happen in this list? No. The reason why I don't think it's going to happen in this list is because with the removal of Mystic Mine, you need to allow rogue decks to still have a chance to compete against the best decks. They might not restrict it all at once, but they might do that later on. If they do something this list, they may only just hit one of them and put it to one, which they think's seen a lot of play, like Rivalry. They might put Mystic Mine to 0, Rivalry to 1, and then they'll leave the rest. That's understandable. So I do think they're going to put Rivalry to 1. I think this card is definitely... I just think it's going to go to 1. They might not do it because they're not putting Gozen to 1 at all. But they might. So players won't really complain that it's going to 1, especially the combo players. They could just do it. But the one card that I think has more likelihood of going to 1 rather than Rivalry is probably Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now, the reason why Anti-Spell is going to most likely go to 1 is it's very restrictive. It does what Imperial Order does in some way. It prevents your opponent from playing spells when they go second. Now, they're already getting a disadvantage going second because there's not as many cards they need to worry about whilst they're comboing off and playing through. They only need to worry about hand traps, really. There's nothing else on the field to worry about yet. Putting this to 1, it's good for the game because it allows players who already had a disadvantage going second can now play their Pot of Prosperities, their Pot of Desires, Pot of Extravagances. Decks play spell cards to help them with consistency and help them to play the game. Cards like this affect that, and it affects that deck's success rate of being able to play against a board. And if your opponent has a board with Anti-Spell, it's game over. So Anti-Spell has to go. I don't think it will get banned. I'm not against it getting banned. I could see that happening in some ways as well, but I don't think it will go from 3 to 0. I think it'll go from 3 to 1, then to maybe 0. But it probably will just go to 1 and stay at 1. So I think we're going to see Rivalry and Anti-Spell at 1. Mystic Mine gone. I'm on the fence. I'm going to say Rivalry is very highly unlikely going to get touched at all. But like me being quite biased right now, and I'm trying not to be, I would like Rivalry at 1. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay, what other cards should go in the game? Now, if they put these traps to 1 and restrict them, then we need a discussion about Red Reboot. Does Red Reboot need staying at 1 whilst all these traps are still at 3? Or if they put these traps to 1, does that make Reboot more powerful or weaker? It's a really interesting point and a really interesting topic. They could just leave Red Reboot at 1 and people will be happy with it. If the game is currently being played out the way it's played now, I think Red Reboot probably should go. It's just too good. If they ban Mystic Mine, I think they should probably get rid of Reboot. It's just solid. Card's really solid. Very good for combo decks. Just a very, very good card. I do think Red Reboot should go in some way. A lot of players win with this card, and it's probably under-spoken about. Card is disgusting. If you're playing a trap deck, you're always going to be worried about Red Reboot in the game. And let's be real, trap decks in today's game aren't very good as it is. So why have a card like this in the game to make them much worse? Because now, if I was looking at the decks I was choosing to play for this weekend, and I was quite comfortable wanting to play a trap deck, I'd automatically need to rule it off. Because if I'm ruling it off because of Red Reboot, and if I'm ruling it off because of Red Reboot, there's a problem there. It means this card is overly powered against trap decks, when trap decks really aren't that good anyway. Now, there is an argument. Mystic Mine Burn did win the event a few weeks ago. It won a YCS. The last YCS played, it won. But would that deck win now without Mystic Mine in its deck? Probably not. So I feel like Red Reboot should go with Mystic Mine together. I think that's probably a really good choice here. Now, what other cards could they hit? Is there any other cards in the game that we feel like they should ban? Because right now I only can really think of these two. They could ban one card, which might not be as surprising, but surprising to some. Could they ban it? No. So, when Snow first came back, I was like, oh no, this is a mistake. An absolute mistake. They shouldn't ban it. They shouldn't have unbanned it. It's going to cause chaos in the game at some point. It might be now, it might be the next format, it might be the format after. It's going to be a problem. But they brought it back, and straight away it saw quite a bit of play, and now it's seeing a lot of play. This card swings Tearlaments slightly above Splight because of it being in the game. Snow is very good. The level 4 as well, which makes it even better. Obviously because of Dweller. And the plays you can do with Excite on Night with this card is disgusting. So if people started playing Excite on Night now in their Tearlaments deck because of Snow, then I can make more sense too, especially with Mystic Mine out. Snow should go. Card's a problem. It'll always be a problem. It's just too good. The reason why they should ban Snow is there's going to be a time when they're going to ban another card, most likely. And if they ban the other card, it makes Snow better. So Snow, I'm going to keep it brief on that one. It should go. It is causing a problem in the game in some ways. It kind of like makes Tearlament much better. It creates more variance with Tearlaments as well because you can mill Snow now. And it makes games more luck-based in some ways if you play the mirror match. Oh, he milled Snow, so he beat me. You kind of want to remove the variance, but also it's very powerful to mill. So I think that should be gone. It makes Tearlaments better much better than the field. You know, if this is around, especially when Mystic Mine goes, Tearlaments is going to crush, and everyone's going to be blaming Snow. Okay, another card they probably should hit, and this is the other card that, if they do ban and they leave Snow, Snow's going to get much better. It's Call by the Grave. Now, should they ban Call by the Grave? Card's not really seeing loads of play right now, but when hand traps are in the game, yes, it's a problem. My take on Call by the Grave is it's very, very good. In fact, the take is, if should a player be allowed to play through hand traps with this card and combo off in a format where a lot of one card starters are now in the game? That's the way Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of designed. There's a lot of good one card engines, and or by you if you go first and you start playing your engine and your opponent ashes you and you have call by, that's crazy. It's highly unfair. I'd rather this card be at 3 than at 1. But this card is just... It allows combo decks to be better. It allows combo decks to play through hand traps. And I would rather this go to 0 from the game. And then when this is gone from the game, it means people now have to start incorporating Nobleman or Crossout. Well, when I say Nobleman or Crossout, they have to put in Crossout Designator into their deck, which means now they have to change their deck list, which means they have to tweak it to accommodate the cards they struggle against, and then they test it to deck build, and also then their consistency of the deck can change slightly if they incorrectly deck build or not. It makes the game more skillful. So I feel like this should go, and I feel Crossout now will see a lot more play, which is fine. I'd rather that happen. This card is just a problem because it's unfair on players that go second. It's unfair on players who are already punished to go second, like Anti-Spell, that it's just going to be in somewhat a problem. Now, there is a card which isn't seeing any play at all right now, called Artifact Scythe. We all know it. It's very good. The reason why it's not seeing any play right now is, well, quite frankly, it doesn't need to see any play. If we get a list and it affects the game in some way, if we get a list, do we think Scythe's going to be played again? Yes. It has to be played. There's going to be a format where Scythe just comes up again, and the next format, the format after, where it's going to see a ton of play, and it's going to cause a lot of problems, like it did over the last few formats. It's caused infinite problems. Artifact Scythe has caused a lot of problems. So should they ban it? Yeah. But will we see it on this list? Probably not. They will keep this in the game, maybe until the next list where they have a lot more changes. Now, the reason why they won't ban it yet is because they want to give other decks more power to go up against Tearlaments and Splight. So they're going to keep Scythe in the game. I don't think they're going to touch it. Now, a card that they should probably get rid of as well is Toadally Awesome. Well, I can't even put it over there. If they make Tearlaments weaker, Splight will come stronger. This card is very good in Splight. It's very, very, very good. Very good. It's just literally snap 2 negates, take the 2 cards, and just swings momentum. I think Toad should go. They might not do it this list. They probably will do it the following list. Toad is a big problem for a lot of players. And imagine the Splight mirror match without Toad in it. Imagine how much more fun that would be. Think about it. Splight mirror match without Toad in the game would be way more interactive. It'd be way more enjoyable. This card just locks the game pretty much, and it's just too good. So if they put Toad to 0 with Snow, and it's gone, then Splight become much weaker. Tearlaments become weaker. Splight will probably struggle more against Splight. There needs to be some sort of balance there, some sort of trade. So if they are going to make a trade with that and ban Toad, they then need to hit something else in Tearlaments. They need to look at the whole engine. Now, right now, I don't think they're going to hit any Tearlament Archetype cards or Splight cards. I think they're only going to hit cards that make them better, like sub-engines. So I reckon we're going to see Danger Nessie go to 1. Now, Danger Nessie makes Tearlament insane. If you're playing Tearlament and if you don't have a very small danger package in your deck, at least a small package, then what are you doing? It's a dark, it's an aqua. It makes the deck better, makes it more powerful, gives it more, it gives it more ways to play. It's a card that should go to 1. So if they don't hit Nessie, then Toad's probably going to stay in the game. If they do hit Nessie, Toad's probably going to go. But then again, if they ban Toad, they're putting Nessie to 1 and banning Snow. If they don't ban Toad, they're going to keep Snow probably and put Nessie to 1. So that's what I think that's what likely they're going to do here. But I'm going to keep it like this so far. Toad I'm unsure on, because how weak does Splight really get if they ban Toad? Now, some of you guys are saying Hulk. Do I think Hulk could go? Yeah. Do I think it'll go now? No. The reason why it won't go now is it's giving decks life against Splight and Tearlaments, and they can't just ban this card. It doesn't make the game as interesting, because it'll only be like 1 or 2 decks around in the format then. And Konami are trying to avoid that. They're trying to have a wide range of decks in the metagame. And banning Hulk right now really does prevent them from doing that, and it goes against their rule or their goal of what they're trying to accomplish right now. So I think Hulk's going to stay. And if anything, we might see them give us something from the list. They might give us something back to give more life to these tuner decks, like these Hulk decks, to compete against Splight and Tearlaments. And that leads me then to saying Glow Up Bulb. Can Glow Up Bulb come back? I think so. I think we can get Bulb back, and I think Hulk will be in the game. And then when Konami have a big hit on the following list, not this list, the following list, I think they'll ban probably Hulk and keep Bulb in the game. Now we gotta think about it as well. Are there any other good cards in the game that are at 1 that should go? We have Instant Fusion. Card's busted. It's very good in Tearlaments. Literally sets you up straight away from that 1 card. Should that go to get banned? Probably not. No, not right now, because it will affect other tier 2 decks, well, other decks in the format. And I don't think Canary is going to go, oh, we'll ban loads of one-ofs. I think they'd rather primarily stick to certain one-offs, which they should just get gone. Is there any other cards that they should get? Do they look at? Yeah, I think they should look at putting like Rota as a one-off. No, I don't think they'll touch Rota. But yeah, Terraforming. Terraforming. I think we're going to get this at free. So chat, what I'm going to do with this layout is I should have probably set up a band at 1, at 2, at 3, etc. unlimited. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ratios next to the card, which tells you which I mean. So right now I think Terraforming would go to 3. If they ban Mystic Mine, I think Terraforming will get a boost. Will it go to 3? Maybe not straight away. Will it go to 1? So will it go to 2? They could probably put it to 2. They might slowly go from 1 to 2 and then to 3. So I think we'll see Terraforming go to 2 for sure, because Mystic Mine's gone now. If Mystic Mine's gone, they can bump this back up. It allows the decks that need their field spells become better and more consistent to compete against the tier 1 decks like Splight and Tearlaments. Now, if they put Terraforming to 2, would Tearlaments play 2? Probably not. They might not, actually. If they put Nessie to 1, they might start them playing these cards to give them more more consistency. But I could see Terraforming going to 2 and then to 3. So that's what I reckon would happen once they put Mystic Mine to 0. I know with this list, I'm trying to explain what I would do. Now, I could be realistic. I could be like, this is what I think exactly is going to happen. But then again, I'd rather just be like, what will probably lead up into happening. So this will probably go to 3, and then this list will go to 2. Okay, is there anything else that we've not covered yet? Now, they did put Pot of Desires to 1. When Pot of Desires went to 1, it then went back to 2. Because obviously it saw no play, and now it's at 2. It's seeing some play, not loads of play. Certain decks play pot cards just to give them consistency and allow them to be able to play their one-off combos, or just to allow them to see more cards in their deck to allow them to achieve what their decks are meant to achieve. Could I see Prosperity going to 1? Probably not. No. Is Prosperity really good? Yes. Will it get better and better moving forward? Probably yes, in some ways, until they bring out a new pot card. It really just depends what they hit on the list. I don't think they're going to touch cards like that in terms of spells, but there's one spell they could probably hit in particular, and that's Super Poly. I think we're going to have Super Poly go to 1 again. Now, there's a problem with this. Yeah. If they put Super Poly to 1, what will happen? We might run into the same scenario that Call by the Grave currently is having. I'd rather be at 3 than at 1. I'd rather be at 3 or 0 rather than 1, right? It creates more variance, Super Poly. A lot of decks are playing 3 copies. It's a way to board break the board. Players make a set board assuming they could get, because there's a high chance they can get Super Poly, so they'll make a set board which might be weaker, slightly weaker because Super Poly's in the game. Maybe keeping it at 3 makes it better because then not always making that overpowered board compared to a slightly weaker board. But with Super Poly going to 1, because of the high amount of numbers that people are playing of Super Poly in their deck list, it has to get affected in some way. It could just go straight to 2, and then it could go to 1 and then get to 0. Super Poly is more likely to go to 1 if they ban Toad than Super Poly is more likely to stay at 3 if they ban Toad. But with Toad gone, they're less likely to hit. What am I trying to say with this? Yeah, if they don't touch Toad, I don't think they're going to hit Super Poly in some way actually, just because Super Poly is a way to make for players to not summon dupe, which they're not playing anymore because of Super Poly, which makes it slightly weaker board. So if they're making that slightly weaker board because Super Poly is in the game, it means then they're probably not going to hit Super Poly because Toad's still in the game. Okay, so maybe they might put Super Poly to 2 then. Chat. No, it's going to go 1. It's going to go to 1. Has to go to 1. Has to go to 1. No, I don't think it's a 3 or 0 Super Poly. I think this is very different to Call By. Because it's more devastating as a card than Call By is. Yes, when people Call By your Ash, if someone goes like, they're comboing off, like let's say someone a Prank Kid combo off and then you chain Ash, but then you chain Call By, it's horrible. But Super Poly using 2 of your monsters and be able to clear the board, can't be respond to, could be using the damage step. It's just very, very good, especially with the TCG exclusive. So I think this card will go to 1. Now, is there anything else that I think we could see? Yeah. Metaverse. I could see Metaverse going to 3. I could see it going to 3. Will they do it? They might not because of Necro Valley in the game. But I could definitely see them putting this to 3 because of Mystic Mine going. Now we got to be real. Metaverse is broken with Mystic Mine in the game. So when Mystic Mine's gone, this gets weaker. So, and you got to think, well, what other field spells are people going to be playing? They're not using this to search the field spell to activate on the next turn to play. They're using this as a way to slow down their opponent to prevent them from playing. So that means then we need to look at then what field spells can you play to prevent your opponent from playing. It's Necro Valley. That's the only card now that works truly well with Metaverse. So I can see Metaverse going to free. Do I think they should give life to other decks? Yes. Do I think they should start unrestricting certain cards? So someone in chat says Tenki. Yes, Tenki is a good shout. Tenki is very good for Tri Brigade, but I don't think it's a card that can go straight from 1 to 3. It's a card that I can see from going from 1 to 2. Now, a lot of players do discuss, why is there even a semi-limited section on the ban list? Well, I don't agree with what they're saying. I do think they should have a semi-limited list. They shouldn't allow certain cards to automatically jump from 1 to 3 to make them much more consistent and better and more powerful in the format. They should slowly increase it, or just increase it slightly. So that's why I do believe having a semi-limited section on the list is correct. So Tenki, Bioformation Tenki, probably could go to 2, yes. Tenki could probably go to 2. Sorry, it's at 2. My bad. Tenki can go to 3. Tenki can go to 3. This card can go to 3 for sure. But will they do it? I mean, it makes Tri Brigade better again. But yeah, I think they could make. I think they could put Tenki to 3. Semi-limited is for malicious. That's it. Yeah, basically, malicious is broken at 3. They should never put that again to 3. So anything else I believe they should do? With Mystic Mine gone, if they get rid of Reboot and they get rid of Call By, it's going to make Gamma better. I think Gamma's going to go to 2. Let me move these over. So so these are going to get banned. Chat, is there any got it. Bypass limit. Can't I just put more in? No? Okay. Alright. So chat, I'm going to do it like this. Okay. I hope this looks way better or makes more sense. Okay, so banned at top. No, obviously ignore Ojama Black and Green getting banned. They're not going to get them. Of course not. And these go into 1. Okay. These will go to 2. What else? Chat, is there anything else that could go to 2? Now, I think Gamma has to go to 2 because if Call By goes from the game, it makes Gamma better. So, Gamma should go to 2. I think Gamma's probably one of the best hand traps we've had. Luckily, they have that restriction, but it's just so broken. But I can see Gamma going to 2 for sure. Terraforming, yes, I can see going to 2 or 3. Is there anything else that I could see going to 2? You need to think as well, I don't really think we're going to see a big change in this list. There is one card that I think we're all going to complain about moving forward, right? We are going to see a huge discussion in getting it banned and gone from the game, because every deck list or every deck will start playing it more and more. It's starting to see a ton of playing nearly every deck now, every combo deck. It's a huge problem that it's probably not being seen as a huge problem yet because there's a certain deck that plays 3 of them, and it's a card that that deck needs to keep crushing with. But this card is so good. They made a mistake when designing it. They should have restricted it in one slight way. Okay, chat, does anyone know what I'm talking about? That one card that I think is a huge problem currently, that is going to keep rising as a problem that people aren't going to like moving forward. And it's a card that reminds me very, very, very much like Nightmare Goblin. Okay, very similar to Nightmare Goblin. Very busted. It's going to be a very big problem, and I think they should start to address it now rather than later. But if they do address it now, it has to go to 1. But then again, if they put it to 1 because they can't ban it, it means then the decks that play 1 aren't going to be hurt. They're going to get better because the deck that plays 3 is going to be massively hurt. So I think Elf, you guessed it right, chat. Elf, Splight Elf. This card is a big problem. Okay, they made a mistake, a design mistake, I'm sure of it. They should have included a Splight monster to be used as a material with this card. It's too good. And it's going to be a problem. So this card right now can't go to 1. It could do, but it has to go to 1 next list if it doesn't go to 1 this list. So I'm going to leave it off the list for now because I don't think it'll happen this ban list. There is probably a 1/3 chance it's going to happen, and the 2 in 3 chances is the next list it will go to 1. So this in the next, so this is what I'm going to say. This is my statement. Over the next 2 ban lists that we're going to get, the one that's going to drop next week or in December/January, Alf will make an appearance on it, going to 1. Don't know which one it will be on, but I'm going to say it's going to be the latter, which is the second list, not the first list. Okay, so let's put these in. Okay, so I think Tenki will go to 3. I think Alf will go to 1, not this list, next list. I think Metaverse will go to 3. Now, Emergency Teleport. Yeah, Emergency Teleport is very, very, very good. It's very, very good. And when I saw this first move from 1 to 2, I was like, holy fuck, we're going to go to get it to 3. This card is very good. Now, the issue I have putting this to 2 is it makes the Punk deck weaker in a format that's being heavily dominated by Splight and Tearlaments. So I think Teleport being at 3 on this list is fine. Staying off the list is fine. On the following list, the one that we get in December/January, I do see this card going to 2, but I don't see it getting changed on this list. So I'm going to say the second list, this will have some sort of change. Now, if you make the Splight deck weaker and Tearlaments weaker, you're then going to need to say, well, the adventure package will make a reappearance. Now, if the adventure package makes a reappearance into the game, we need to question what are they going to do with the adventure package. So, with the adventure package, there are very few cards they can really do to this. They can't really put Right or Enchantress at 2 or 1. They probably have to do both of them, because with this mechanic or this archetype, it's very different and quite unique that they do need to hit 2 of the same cards to restrict them. So then I could see Enchantress going to 2 and Right going to 2. But I more likely would expect Enchantress going to 2 rather than Right going to 2. So I think we might see Enchantress going to 2, Right staying to 3 for now, and then on the following list, Right will go to 2 then. Okay, so we could see this. If we do see these changes to Tearlaments, it means decks are gonna. It means the Tearlament deck might start playing the Adventure package. Now I know Triff played it and got top 8 at the YCS in Brazil. However, very few people do play the Adventure package and Tearlaments. But it means now more players will switch to that version because it's probably better now if these cards go to 1. So if Nessie goes to 1 and Snow banned, so you want more cards that you want to benefit from. So could I see Enchantress being and the Adventure package being played in Tearlaments? Yes. Do I think they should remove the Tearlament? Do I think they should hit the Adventure package in some way? Just slightly, yes. Now, yeah, I do think this card could go to 2. But in some ways, what they should really just answer and get banned. This card is right, guys, I'm going to say a card that should get banned. And most of you will think I've lost my mind. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not like me thinking Ash Blossom should get banned. Even though at one point I did believe Ash Blossom should get banned. This card is a card that's at 1 right now. I do think it should go and get banned. It probably will see the ban list. It could even happen on this list. I wouldn't be shocked. If it happens in this list, it means the ratios of Enchantress and Snow might be different. When I say Snow, it means it might not just get banned. It might just stay at 1. When I say Enchantress, it might not get touched. So I'm going to say Foolish Burial. This card is very, very, very good. Very good. It turns on Snow. Turns on Enchantress. It's literally a 4th Enchantress. It's a 7 right Baronseer, by the way. That's why it's so good. This card is just a very good one of. We might see it get banned soon, but I don't think we'll have it yet. We could have it on this list as well. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked Foolish Burial is getting announced banned. I've said I thought this card should be banned for a few years now. So we'll see. But I'm going to keep that. That's just a special mention. Curious should have got banned years ago when Danger FDK was made. It's too good. The fact that you can use this monster as a link material is just madness to me. Blows my mind. This card should just probably go. They can ban Curious and keep Snow in the game. That's probably fine. But that means more people will complain about Foolish Burial. But they can keep Snow in the game and bang that. Curious is just really solid. Lets you mill extra cards as well when you send the Snow, which makes your deck filled with more cards to banish, which might not sound too much, but it's basically an extra Snow. Half of an extra Snow effect, but by that point you always guaranteed then to be having enough for 2 Snow effects. So Curious is a special mention. But I think anything else could be touched. Does this mean anything on the list could come back? Let me have a look. Do I think anything on the ban list could come back? So we've got, let me show you chat. Do I think anything on this list could come back? Okay, so no, definitely not. Maybe Eva, but it's too good. Eva will probably come back eventually, but not yet. Unless they want to like make Drytron back in the game. So, Fiber Jar, nope, yes, nope, no. Mine must no. Harp Horror, I hope so. I really hope so, but no, probably not. Can you imagine playing Tearlament with Orcust? Well, then it does lock you into Dark Machines. Probably not, but yeah, I mean, if Harp Horror comes back, it does make the Orcust deck played again. Then Konami might just see players playing Tearlaments now. So yeah, Harp Horror could come back. Master Plan maybe. LP, nope. Pain. Aggro maybe, because Alfie's gone, but it'll be a problem again. Electromite, yes, that can come back. Goblin, no. Mermaid, no. Summon Sorceress, no. Bomber Dragon, or Gumla Dragon, no. Linkross, definitely not. Whoever thought of Linkross? Aerodon, no. Prometheus is what you said. Yep, that can come back. True King Calamity is no. Zenmighty, yes, it should have been back ages ago. Zenmighty, why not carry? Should have been back ages ago, chat. Broadball. I mean, if Trident's banned, they could probably put Broadball back. Zeus gets more popular though, and that'll become a problem. And if this comes back, you'll probably see Zeus going to 1. Brilliant Fusion, maybe. Alma, maybe. Probably Nox, the combat, because of the infinite loot. Unless they errata it. You might do. Card of Safe Return, no. Chicken Game, no. Cold Wave, no. No, no. Dimensional Fusion, no, no, no. Heavy Storm, yes. Heavy Storm can come back. 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 Wiseman. So far, I like my Forbidden section, and I like my Limited section. But if Rivalry goes, and goes... If Rivalry goes to 1, then goes and Kai needs to go to 1. Maybe we could just remove this. I think that's probably better. What else we got? Highest Colosseum, no. Lost One, no. Metamorphosis, no. Not agreed. I mean, they could if they wanted to. I don't think. I mean, yeah. I mean, they could. Grass is greener. Yes, that'd be fun. Grass is greener would be fun. Ultimate Offering, maybe. At 1. Armageddon Knight. I mean, Armageddon Knight could go to 3. Yeah. I think Armageddon Knight can go to 3. But it's very good. Might be played in Tearlaments. But you play the Rhino High instead. Morphin Jar, Jet Synchron. I'm just brushing past these. I'm just trying to... I mean, Hyper Librarian can go to 3, probably. Destruction, Change of Heart. Do you think we'll see Change of Heart go to 3? Or to 2? Chat? Because it's not seeing that much play at 1? Or do you think it's that good that they just have to keep it in check and keep it at 1? I'm going to say the latter. I think it have to keep it in check. Keep it at 1. Sekka's Light. Yeah, I could see Sekka's Light going to 2, chat. I could see it going to 2. The rotation, Hornet Drones, Terraforming, Upstart, Macro, Metaverse, Reboot, Time Seal. Malicious, Benton, Enki, Fusion, Destiny. See Fusion Destiny going to 3. I think keeping it at 3 is fine. I think moving it from 2 to 3 is better for the game. Because it means, yes, you could just probably play the engine. Just add it in. 3 Fusion Destiny, 1 Celestial, 1 Dasher of DPE. Yeah, that'll be popular. That'll be played quite a bit. People won't play it in Tearlaments because they mill a lot. So it allows the other weaker decks to now compete against Tearlaments. Also, Splight could play it, but they're restricted again. They're locked. They can't. They would have used a starter or gigantic Sprite at that point, so they probably won't play it. It just allows all the other decks to play. So, I think having Fusion Destiny is fine. What else could they hit? What else could they bring us back? Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant go to free, yeah. But we can get this at free. So we're going to run out of space, yeah. So definitely 3 of those. It's a bit messy now, isn't it, chat? Okay. Right. That should be that. Anything else I think we should do? Light stage go to free, yes. Light stage go to free. Light stage to free, chat. What else will go to free? Wall of Revealing Light. This is one that pay 1,000, right? Yeah, let's go to free. Wall of Revealing Light, we go to free. Anything else, chat? I think that's fine. All this is fine. Hero Lives worries me at free, but not implemented that much right now. This is fine. I think they could put Ben 10 to free if they leave Eva banned. So we could see free Ben 10, but I'm going to assume right now they're not going to do that. Gazelle at free. They could move Gazelle, yes, from 1 to 2. Very good though. Yeah, they could make Gazelle. Gazelle. Okay, chat. So if this looks confusing in terms of the layout, so the top row is what's going to get banned. Okay, ignoring the Ojama cards, they're just fillers. Okay, so I'm going to say Mystic Mind, Red Reboot, Snow, Call by the Grave. These are the cards that I think can go to 1. Blow Up Bulb, and you're thinking there's no Hulk on this list. The reason why I think Blow Up Bulb should come back is because it gives these combo decks other than Splight, this is a combo deck, Splight and Tearlaments a way to push back and get a bit stronger in the format. It would make Tearlaments more busted actually, bringing Glow Up Bulb back. So maybe this might be an oversight. Nessie should go to 1. Heavy Storm should come back and go to 1. Dupoly should go to 1. Anti-Spell should go to 1. Gamma should go to 2 with the removal of Call by the Grave. Makes this better, so Gamma should go. Enchantress should probably go to 2. Keeping Right at 3 for now, and then putting Right to 2. Check, you know when you sneeze, but then you half sneeze or don't even sneeze, and then it just goes. No, yeah, that's what happened. Cool. Gazelle can come back to 2 for sure. Terraforming, probably we might see going to 3, but I think they're going to put it to 2 for this one and putting Metaverse to 3 because Metaverse is a trap. This is a spell. This will go to 2 because Mystic Mind's banned. Metaverse will go to 3 from 1. Got Second's Light. I think this is fine to go to 2. It could even go to 3 in some ways as well. Just give me 3 Second's Lights, but I think they're gonna rather keep it. Rather than make a mistake, they probably want to do this, risk assess, and keep this in check. So we'll put it to 2. I think Tenki now, all the cards coming to 3. Tenki at 3, Nadir 7 at 3, Fusion Destiny at 3, Light Stage at 3, Metaverse at 3, Wall of Revealing Light at 3. Now, chat, what do you think you feel like I've missed? Because I think we've hit. I think we got there. I think this would be a nice list. Splight and Tearlament will still crush. Take Snow from them and give them Glow Up Bulb will help them actually. Yeah. So actually, I actually like Glow Up Bulb going to 1. It makes you're trading the Snow for the Bulb, whilst Bulb then makes other decks better when they play Hulk. So yeah, so put Bull back to 1. Nessie to 1. Storm to 1. Do Poly to 1. And as well, yeah. Chat. I think this is alright. Bring back multiple Divine Wind. Divine Wind? What's Divine Wind? This one? Divine Wind and Miss Belly. Once per turn, if a monster you control returns to hand. There's no. It's a field spell, so you can just search with these now. But no. Might become a problem. Cool. Cool. Right. What do you think? Anything that you think I've missed? Okay, so chat, this is what I think, okay, they should do from now. And I definitely took into consideration some of the comments, especially with Gazelle, etc. This is what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to lock in this. Let me just save this. Okay, so I'm saving this. This is what I'm going to say. I think there's going to be on the ban list that we get next week. I don't think we're going to get one tomorrow. We could get it. One could drop tomorrow, but if it's likely to drop a Thursday, Friday, and be legal Monday.